Joined by head coach Garrett LeRose from Washington Elite Football. Coach, this is your first preseason as the head man in Lexington. Talk a little bit about what you see from yourself, what you're going to do with the football program this year. If there are going to be any changes from Scott Abel and from last year's team that made it to the NCAA tournament and really put up a good showing against a very good Mount Union squad.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me, and kind of excited for my first season as head coach this year, but certainly very familiar with Lexington, having spent about the last 15 years there as both an undergrad and an assistant coach. So I think for all those looking for what's going to be different in Lexington, don't expect a new brand of football or any crazy changes, but certainly it'll have a unique stamp to it. I think each season brings a new team to town, whether you have a new head coach, but new leadership, new seniors, all those aspects. So certainly this team will take on its own identity as we move into the 2018 season. But at the same time, we'll stick to a lot of core values that have brought us a great deal of success over the last 10 years. For myself as a head coach, you'll see a team that's very detail-oriented. We'll pay attention to those small things so that we can be successful in the big picture, as well as a team that'll take a week-to-week approach to what we're doing. I think it's important as we look at expectations and enthusiasm as we get excited for this season that we take a day-by-day approach, and we're focused on not just reaching expectations, but reaching our personal goals as a team. So I think it's very important to focus on the internal piece as much as anything else that's going on.
You've got a motivating factor coming in, and when I say you, I mean the team, with the performance you had against Mount Union last year, perennial power in Division III football, and then in the NCAA playoffs you had, going to their place and playing in some weather up in the Cleveland area. Talk a little bit about that experience, more so not just that game, but how it's leading into this year and how hungry the guys are that they got experience and they want to get back to that.
Well, certainly I think, especially you look at this senior class, they're looking at opportunities to excel and take on a next step as a program. So we had an outstanding group of seniors that led us in our run last year and set us up for that success as we played up there in Ohio. But at the same time, we have a group of seniors coming back this year who will be the first team with an opportunity to win 3 ODAC championships, things like that, to motivate you. So certainly I think we keep that in our focus. But each team is different, so although that's a part of who we are because we went up there and had that success, this team needs to find its own personal motivation and what's going to take us to the levels that we want to have this year. I think the big thing that we look at as a program and we focused on this offseason was this may be the first time in my time with WNL that we got on a bus and we're excited, hey, if we went back there next week and played again in the playoffs. Other years I think we were happy with our regular season success and ready to take next steps as a program. This was one of the years where we're like, we need to take that next obvious step as a program. So we look at the group we have coming back, trying to grow as a team and take advantage of the experience we have, but at the same time not let that experience be what dominates our thought process. We need to be focused on the future as much as we can lean on the experiences we've had in the past.
When you talk about the experiences and the players that are coming through, you had a lot of senior help last year from guys like Max Garrett defensively and Will Shields in the defensive backfield. But on offense, you had a very key first-year player that was up there, Josh Brees, preseason All-American. Talk a little bit about him, but the guys that also helped clear the way for him in that offensive line.
Well, certainly the offensive line will be at a core of what we do and one of the strongest groups that we bring back. I really think our fronts on both sides are where a lot of our experience are coming back for us this year. Certainly losing Chris Ozier will be a big one for us, so we'll have to find someone to plug in there, but I think we have some young, talented guys who will be hungry during training camp. Same on the defensive line. I think we've got a lot of guys coming back at that position for us, but I think our real competition during training camp, I really say, is kind of the second level on both sides. Our tight ends, our slots, guys who have gotten a lot of experience based on our system, but at the same time haven't been the guy. So they'll have to adjust this year and really champion that role of being an every down player. Same thing when you look at a defensive side, really, when you talk about our linebacker position, losing Max and Dom Volpe and David Hogan, guys who were very successful, accounted for a lot of tackles, a lot of plays. I think we have talented guys who got experience in different packages and opportunities on the field. When you look at Will Corey, Nate Faber coming back, some other young guys who are special teams guys for us. But this next 21 days are going to be a really exciting time for those guys to kind of put their stamp on it, show us what they learned under some of that leadership of those former guys, and then step into the role. With Michael Shields going in the back end for us, certainly a big piece for us, but at the same time, we had some guys due to injuries with Thomas going down in the WashU game, so we have Davis Waldrop, Chris Elliott, a lot of guys who have experience back there, but really guys who need to come into their own this year and kind of champion a position and learn how to be the starting guy.
Let's take a look at it, your league perspective. You've been in the league for a long time, obviously first year as a head coach, but you've still been at Washington League for 10 years. Talk a little bit about what you see from the league. We've got some newness that we haven't had in the past, and we've got Ferrum coming in, bringing it to 8 squads in the league, and they're not just a rollover squad. They went 8-2 last year playing through the USA South, and we're awful close to getting an NCAA bid. talk a little bit about what you see from the league this year.
Well, I think Ferrum was an outstanding addition to the league. I think when you look nationally, I think we're one of the most balanced leagues, top to bottom. Year in, year out, there's some leagues where there's the runaway team or top heavy, bottom heavy. I know every week you better strap it up in the ODAC because home away matters, who you're playing matters each week in our league. And I think Ferrum's just a very obvious addition to that. Being a Virginia-based team, I think they fit the mold of our conference very well. And I also think as a league, we're very familiar with them. If you look over the past 10 years, all of our non-conference schedules, I think everyone's seen Ferrum at some point or another, whether it's in a scrimmage environment. And I just think that they bring that same dynamic. You better be ready every week to go against the team, and they're just another team that's going to add to that. They have some outstanding talent down there. Coach Grande's been down there kind of getting things rolling, so it'll be exciting to see them as a new addition. But I think the ODAC remains very similar, where each week there's no team that you want to sleep on. You better be prepared. The jerseys don't speak. It's going to be the players on the field.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for joining me today. Good luck in your first season as the head man in Lexington.
Thank you.